We are back on MorningLine. Thanks for joining us live as we're coming to you on Facebook at newschannel5.com. Also on the Plus, you can dial us up at 737-7587. Clint Kelly, malpractice attorney, is with us. It's good to have him as always. And in the middle of it all, there's so many aspects of this COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic. But legally speaking, Clint, I just need to ask you this. I mean, so much is going on, okay? And we know there's a backlog of legal things happening, both criminally and what you do civilly. Where do things stand with the courts, though? As you move forward now with lawsuits are to be filed, how are things going to play out? As it is now, it's still really slow going, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a great question, Nick. Let me tell you where we are right now. The Supreme Court entered an order on the 27th of April allowing all the judicial districts to come up with their own plan for reopening the courts. And the Supreme Court has been encouraging courts to have more remote type hearings and conferences, like what we're doing here, Nick. The Supreme Court is encouraging lawyers to take depositions remotely through Zoom or Skype. They are encouraging more in-person hearings. The only thing that remains sidelined right now are jury trials. We're not in a position yet to resume jury trials. I think we're going to have to see how the next 30 to 60 days shape up as to whether we can start having jury trials again. But we're slowly beginning to move the machinery of justice forward. It is slow, but it is moving, and I expect it to continue to progress. And what I think is going to be a positive out of this whole nightmare is that I believe that it's going to be easier and cheaper now to litigate because we'll be able to do more things remotely without the need to have to pay for travel. It's expensive, Dick, just to go to court. I don't know last time you went to a courthouse, but if you go to the Metro Courthouse, parking is like, can't get out of there for less than $12.
Right.
Sometimes $20. And if you have to go downtown to some of the buildings where the law firms are, you might spend $25 or $30 parking. And then you got to fight the traffic and all of the problems going in and out of town. Now we're looking at conducting more meetings and conferences remotely. And I think that's going to be a positive. I don't think that's going to change after this pandemic, after we get a grip on it. I believe that those changes will stay. And I think that's going to be better for everybody in the long run.
Yep. All right. Well, and Clint, we've talked about this. There were some high-profile trials. We were going to do gavel to gavel. Of course, the Vanderbilt nursing situation, that's postponed.
Right.
The Andrew Delkey murder case, postponed. It was supposed to start in June. A lot of them. The Waffle House shooting case, all of them pushed back right now. It's the way it has to be. I can't imagine selecting a jury right now under these circumstances. Let's take some more phone calls for you. We've got next on the horn is Joe. Joe, good morning. What's your question or comment for Clint? Hi, Joe.
I agree with everything Mr. Kelly said this morning. This is all about the bottom line to all of this is they're trying to block Mr. Kelly from these suits to save $1. It's all about the money. The corporations that run these nursing homes and the people that own the boards and stuff, you'd be surprised who they are. But it's about saving $1. They're letting people die and putting $1 in front of that. So, okay, if they die, okay, but we'll save $1 here. But this whole thing has been mishandled from the get-go. They knew about this as far back as January, but everybody's drugged their feet and still doing it, still dragging their feet. I mean, they're opening up places, and I understand that part of it, but from day to day, then there's more people coming down with it from one day to the next. So what are we, where are we headed with this thing?
Clint, with regard to that, as we see cases and things opening up, someone messaging this as a lawyer, maybe you can answer. It may not be malpractice, but Brittany's asking, so is it possible for one of these small businesses to reopen? And thank goodness they can if they do so safely. But if they reopen and someone can prove that they contracted COVID-19 from that establishment, would they have a case?
I don't think I'd take it.
Okay.
I think where we are right now, everybody knows when you're going out in public that you're taking a risk on. We know that now. I think it'd be hard to blame a sole proprietorship or a small mom and pop operation for getting sick when, we all know what the risks are. There's a difference, Nick, between me and you and someone else going out shopping or maybe going to see something out in public and catching a virus versus someone who's a patient in a hospital or a nursing home who has nowhere else to go. They can't avoid the risk. They're stuck there. So I see a difference between what Brittany's talking about versus a patient who resides at a nursing home or some other type of healthcare facility.
Yeah, no, that makes good sense. Let's go next to Ann. Ann, good morning. Hi, Ann.
Good morning. Two things. First, it has to do with contact tracing. And we've known for weeks that our nursing homes needed to be checked and tested. And now our governor is starting to do that, but he has also quit doing briefings so we will know the numbers as our 89 counties are testing these facilities. And also, yesterday's news conference in the afternoon dealt with contact tracing, and I picked up very quickly that the number of people employed to do this was only recently increased. When we start getting the numbers on the people that were infected due to negligent contact tracing, do they have a case? And my second question is, yesterday, I live in 37206 Davidson County. I watched as a realtor showed a house to a young couple, and all three violated social distancing and entered the homeowner's house without masks, spent an hour inside that home. Now, the doctor that lives there and has kept his family safe since this all started, with 3 children under the age of 6, I don't think appreciated this agent violating this mask policy. And I don't think the 3 people that were in that house for an hour realized what they did.
A lot of that's happening, I think. Boy, I'll tell you, Clint, I was out yesterday in Wilson County where I live, and I think some people are living like it's back to complete normalcy. And we'll see if that's a mistake or not. But, what about the social tracing question and the like?
I'm glad she brought that up because that's something we haven't talked about. It's extremely important. Contact tracing.
Oh, that's right, contact tracing.
Is so important as a means of protection, but also that's one of the problems at the nursing home in Gallatin was the failure to properly do contact tracing. Contact tracing. It's hard
I have the same problem. I'm sorry.
It allows you to just what it is. Who's been in contact with whom? So you can try to figure out who's at high risk and who isn't. Like if you've got somebody coming into the facility who's been through LaGuardia Airport, New York, versus someone who comes regularly from Gallatin, who is probably going to be more at high risk. Or if you have someone who's been, on a Carnival cruise line previously versus someone who's just coming in from Hendersonville, who's at higher risk. You want to find out who has been in touch with whom, who's been in touch with whom, and that's how you figure out who might be sick, and then you can segregate and mitigate exposure. Those things weren't done properly in Gallatin. And, the business about the realtor, that would be a claim. Now, you'd have difficulty, I think, proving where you got it from, because that's always going to be the defense in these cases. If you sue someone, the party that's alleged to have been the party that exposed you is going to say, how do you know it was me? How do you know you didn't pick it up earlier in the day when you went to the grocery store. That's going to always be a defense. But what she's talking about, a realtor going through a house without masks on, violating social distancing in someone else's house, to me is the essence of careless, reckless conduct. I don't understand that. I don't know what would possess someone to do that. And yeah, I think it would get you sued if you made somebody sick. I mean, who are these people? Where is the responsibility? I don't understand what's going through people's minds right now. We all know what's going on. We know what we have to do. Why are people doing that, Nick?
I have no answer, but you're right on point. We'll take a break. I just fear more people are going to get sick. When we come back, we'll take more calls and questions, including one from someone with a question about dentists, not medical doctors necessarily, but the dentists and about cases potentially there. We'll be back with more with Clint Kelly right after this.